Donald Trump is doing everything he possibly can to distract his supporters from his Jeffrey Epstein scandal. He'll give them any bit of red meat to try to shift their focus. Rosie O'Donnell, Stephen Colbert arresting Barack Obama, but what's worse than MAGA not buying it is his MAGA mouthpieces not buying it. And that is exactly what we saw from a Fox contributor who took Donald Trump to task, absolutely shredded him over this cover-up that he has been caught in, and we're going to get into it all. But before we do, if I could quickly ask you to leave a like on this video, and if you haven't already and you enjoy our channel, to hit that subscribe button because it goes a long way in supporting our work. Now, before we can get into Donald Trump being called out by Fox, we got to start with the reason why, and it's his insane rant about Obama and how Jeffrey Epstein is a witch hunt.
But what we found is even more so. Now, we found absolute, this isn't like evidence, this is like proof, irrefutable proof that Obama was seditious, that Obama was trying to lead a coup and was with Hillary Clinton with all these other people, but Obama headed it up. And, you know, I get a kick when I hear everyone talks about people I never even heard of. It was this one. No, it was Obama. He headed it up. And it says so right in the papers. Got everything. Got everything. This is the biggest scandal in the history of our country. And it really goes on to even the auto pen, because it all relates to the same thing. It all started the same sick minds. You have an auto pen, which is a tremendous, well, we don't have a president, we have an auto pen that signs everything. I'll bet you sign everything. You don't have auto pens. Everybody, who doesn't sign? You're the president of a country. But it's all that whole thing, leading right up to the end of it is the auto pen. And the auto pen was used by people, and Biden knew nothing about it. Biden knew nothing about it. They were signing documents that he knew nothing about. As an example, they released the Unselect Committee of Liability. The Unselect Committee spent 2 years grilling everybody, and then they destroyed all the evidence. You know why? Because the evidence made them guilty, and he gave them all a pardon. The Cheney, all the scum that was on the Unselect Committee, Cryan, Adam Kinzinger, and Democrats.
This is the most projection I have ever seen from Donald Trump, saying that President Obama is guilty of seditious conspiracy, that he's committed treason, that he tried to do a coup. Like, that's what you did, Donald. And it's crazy that MAGA will get in line behind this and say, oh my gosh, if someone commits treason, we absolutely have to put him behind bars. Well, not Donald. We love Donald. We can't do that with Donald Trump. But it's not just Trump who is pushing this wild idea, this complete baseless lie about Barack Obama. So did Tulsi Gabbard, and it's the reason we saw a flip from Fox after this clip on Fox.
We are referring all of the documents that we have uncovered to the Department of Justice and the FBI for a criminal referral.
Yeah. And do you believe that we will see prosecutions? I mean, our audience wants to know where this story goes from here. Will we ever see anyone held accountable for this incredible lie on the American people?
I will do all that I can, and we have whistleblowers, actually, Maria, coming forward now after we release these documents, because there are people who were around, who were working within the intelligence community at this time, who were so disgusted by what happened. We're starting to see some of them come out of the woodwork here, because they too, like you and I and the American people, want to see justice delivered. So we're going to provide everything that we have, everything that we will continue to gather to the Department of Justice for that direct intent and that direct purpose. There must be indictments, those responsible, no matter how powerful they are and were at that time, no matter who was involved in creating this treasonous conspiracy against the American people, they all must be held accountable.
You really just have to laugh at this point if you're a Trump supporter, right? Can you take these guys seriously? Like, all they have been talking about for the past year is how they're going to release the Epstein files. We're going after the predators. And they immediately give up. And now you're supposed to get excited about Barack Obama or George Clooney or Hillary Clinton or James Comey being arrested. Oh, it's coming soon. We're going to prosecute them. Donald Trump hasn't gone after anyone that he's claimed to be in the deep state. He has just made his own deep state, and is why Trump and Gabbard were ripped to shreds by a Fox contributor, as we can see right here. Fox News contributor savages Tulsi Gabbard in scathing op-ed. A Fox News contributor ripped Tulsi Gabbard's misleading attack on members of the Obama administration over its investigation into the 2016 Trump campaign's ties to Russia. National Review contributing editor Andrew McCarthy took issue Monday with the director of national intelligence's claim that Obama's team engaged in a treasonous conspiracy after the 2016 election to fabricate claims of Russian election meddling in order to damage Trump's presidency. McCarthy began by commenting that there's good reason to wonder whether Gabbard speaks with other intelligence officials in the Trump administration or even reads CIA reports, because when it comes to that agency's findings on Russian interference, no new light is shed on this episode by Gabbard's email disclosures. Gabbard's posts, he added, were unsurprisingly accompanied by an overwrought and misleading press release rather than an analytical report. Perhaps that's because Gabbard's intelligence community peer, CIA Director John Ratcliffe, did issue an analytical report just a few days earlier that contradicts Gabbard's implication that there was no evidence of Russian interference in the 2016 election, continued the Fox News contributor. Yet Gabbard's frivolous post Friday, which came as the president is mired even deeper in his Jeffrey Epstein controversy, was still enough for Trump to seize on. The 79-year-old did so in a characteristic fashion by posting a bizarre AI video of Obama being arrested in the Oval Office. It could not be clearer that Donald Trump is trying to distract with the most ridiculous stories and conspiracies and lies. And again, you just have to be embarrassed for them at this point. They said that they were going after the big bad guys in the deep state. They're going after the elites. We're going to bring them all down. And they didn't even get close. They didn't even try. In fact, they did a great job of doing the opposite. The elites, the deep state, those working for one individual to look out for their interest above all else, Donald Trump, are firmly planted within our government now. What was Doge? Was that not the deep state? Was that not interfering in every government agency, policing and patrolling for Donald Trump's own good? I know it was Elon's for a while there, but this is ridiculous. It is an insane notion and just goes to show how far Donald Trump will take his abuses of power, whether it be at the FBI or the DOJ, in order to satisfy his conspiracies that do not play out and only backfire on him. It is embarrassing. That is the word. And Jamie Raskin made that real clear when he was calling out Trump right here.
Republicans this month passed a bill to throw 17 million Americans off of their Medicaid health insurance. The rescission package Congress passed last week cuts $1 billion from public broadcasting and billions more from foreign aid, all of which is nothing but music to the ears of propagandists and foreign recruiters for China and Russia. Meantime, Trump is refusing to release the Epstein files, more than 100,000 documents which he was demanding for years in order to blow the lid off of what he and Pam Bondi and Kash Patel and Dan Bongino and the mega media were describing as a massive global child sex abuse and human trafficking ring for the rich and powerful. Bondi, acting under the direct supervision of Donald Trump, ordered more than 1,000 FBI agents to work as part of continuing 24-hour shifts, poring over more than 100,000 documents in the Epstein file, photographs, videos, emails, and texts. They were instructed to immediately flag all references to Donald Trump, all appearances of Donald Trump, and all images, likenesses, pictures, and videos of Donald Trump. At the same time, Kash Patel has been administering loyalty tests and lie detector tests to FBI agents. So this is a profoundly troubling and suspicious turn of events as Donald Trump seeks to sweep the whole thing under the rug, and our colleagues in the majority have now canceled all bills because they don't want to go before the Rules Committee to have to face more votes on whether or not to release the Epstein files. So we're examining the threat from China as though Donald Trump is not ceding more global power to China every single day, but he is. During his first term, he received millions of dollars personally from the Chinese government and state-owned companies, to say nothing of the valuable trademarks Chinese authorities rushed to grant him and Trump family members. In exchange, he opposed sanctions against Chinese telecom companies and banks, even when they threatened our national security. He even tried to cancel military exercises with Japan and South Korea because Russia and China voiced objections to it. His second term has seen more catering and appeasement to the autocrats. Over the last 6 months, the administration has weakened America's soft power abroad by defunding foreign aid programs systematically and closing embassies. It's hurt America's economy with illegal and arbitrary tariffs that leave us isolated and hapless in the world. In his second administration, Trump appears to be hell-bent on remaking his administration in the image of Xi's regime, cracking down on media outlets he disapproves of, destroying academic freedom with attempted hostile takeovers of colleges and universities, including America's oldest university, Harvard, attacking attorneys for representing clients or causes he disfavors, purging libraries and censoring books, sending masked agents in unmarked vans to arrest foreign students without arrest warrants for voicing opinions he disagrees with, shipping people to El Salvador's notorious prison of torture, and using AI to surveil individual social media posts and to create a mega database of all Americans' information. Look, in America, everyone is allowed to petition the court for relief, regardless of the depth of their pockets or their country of origin, making it harder for litigants to access the courthouse doors, even in the name of strategic competition with the foreign power, would make us less like America. That's not acceptable, obviously, yet that's exactly what some have suggested, instead of actually developing government policies that make us strong versus China and prevent illegal subversion and interference from China and Russia. In the context of our competition with China, we should never forget that those who would give up essential liberty to purchase a little temporary safety deserve neither liberty nor safety. That's Ben Franklin. This has been a matter on which there's been strong bipartisan agreement in the past. I hope Republicans and Democrats in this committee can continue to uphold this basic yet vital framework.
Donald Trump's administration is a joke. I know that we can talk about how dangerous they are. I know we can talk about the ways that Donald Trump's cover-up of this Jeffrey Epstein investigation hasn't just protected him, but the cabal of criminal abusers who were around Jeffrey Epstein, who were his colleagues, and who are now Donald Trump's co-conspirators. We can talk about all of that, and it's true, but it's also true that this is just embarrassing. And the fact that MAGA continues to fall for it, these people are dumb. I'm sorry that this is the conclusion that we're coming to at the end of this video, but it's just true. They're dumb. And whether it be calling them out or educating them, I promise we're going to be doing that work on this show. And if you want to support that, as always, you can hit that subscribe button, leave a like on this video, and if you stuck around to the end, you can drop a blue heart in the comments. And until next time, I'll see you soon.